Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I'll have a guest on from Troup County, and also I'll have a guest on from the Vernon Woods Retirement Community. So make sure that you stay tuned for those interviews in just a moment.
We're the main supplier of Kia. We have a lot of containers coming in and out all the time, and in those containers are packaging, which we had a lot of steel and a lot of cardboard. So what we had to do was figure out a way to recycle everything possible. We contacted the City of LaGrange. They came in with an engineer and they drew up a setup where it can make it easier for us to get this cardboard or steel out easy as possible. Next thing you know, it was installed. If you're looking for dependability, definitely. The City of LaGrange has gave us great service. Can't ask for anything better.
Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm sitting down with the guest from the Troup County Commissioner's Office, Gary Wood, who's the tax commissioner. Gary, I want to start out this morning. We have a lot of information to cover, but I want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. Appreciate it.
Well, you know, I know that there's some information that's coming down from our legislators. House Bill 386, I believe, is going to have to do something with our birthday tax. And I know that you're the gentleman that can kind of fill in the blanks there that the general public might have about that. So let's just kind of jump right on in here. What is the birthday tax and what are some of the changes that are taking place, Gary?
Alton, House Bill 386 is a bill that was passed last year through our legislators, and it's an economic bill, and part of that bill was creating a new system for taxing motor vehicles once they're registered. And that process is going to take away and do away with the local and state sales tax. And it's also going to do away with what we know as the birthday tax. That's when you come in annually to renew your tag, then you pay ad valorem tax also at the same time. So the birthday tax will be going away and the sales tax will be going away after March the 1st on purchases after March the 1st of 2013. Everything else will remain the same with the old ad valorem tax as it is until that title transfers.
Okay, so basically the program starts for vehicles purchased after March the 1st of 2013 this year, correct?
That's right.
Okay, now you talked about a little bit about vehicles that were purchased prior to that. I guess they will continue to pay that ad valorem tax. What's the percentage of decrease there, Gary, roughly? It don't have to be exact, you know? The percentage that the older vehicles, I know each year as your vehicle ages, there's a percentage that the ad valorem decreases.
That value, which is set by the state, they set motor vehicle values, and they are reduced by approximately 5% per year on an average. Okay. And so those people who are not able to opt into this new title tax will, again, like I said, continue to pay the old ad valorem tax with a decrease annually until they transfer that vehicle. Let's just say that you buy a vehicle after March the 1st, 2013, which is when this goes into effect. What you will actually do is when you go to the dealership to pay for that vehicle, you do not pay the sales tax anymore. So this is a good thing. But when you come to the tax commissioner's office to title and register that vehicle, that's when you will pay the one-time 6.5% title fee, actually saving that person 0.5%. Plus, then annually they do not pay the birthday tax or the annual ad valorem tax. So it's a good thing, and for those people. Now, this also applies to casual sales. And this will not be as pleasing to some folks because anyone, if I buy your car, Alton, today, I mean after March the 1st, a non-dealer sale, casual sales as we call them sometime, then of course I don't pay sales tax now, but as of March the 1st, or after March the 1st, when I buy your vehicle, I will have to pay a one-time 6.5% title fee, and then I will be exempt from the birthday tax going forward also.
Okay, well, very good. So there are advantages, and I was going to ask, are there any exceptions to the rules here, Gary?
Yes, there is. There's one exception. Again, the law goes into effect March the 1st, and any title transfer of ownership after March the 1st, you will not have a choice. You will have to pay the 6.5% title fee in order to register your vehicle in the state of Georgia. Now, the exception is since the bill was passed last year, they're going to allow people who purchased a vehicle after after January of 2012 to opt in. What that means is that they can come in after March the 1st, and preferably on their birthday.
Right.
If their birthday is before December the 31st of this year, because the opt-in period is from March the 1st to December 31st. And so what that means, if you bought a vehicle last year, then you also paid sales tax on it, and you may have even had a birthday and paid ad valorem tax on it. And so what you can do on your birthday this year, or before, you can come in and you can show me where you paid your sales tax, and you can show me where you may have paid ad valorem tax, and we will add that sales tax and that ad valorem tax together, and then we will look at the 6.5% title fee based on the value of your vehicle, and in most cases you won't owe me anything. We just let you opt in, and then you no longer pay the birthday tax going forward. So there is an opt-in period for those who purchased a car after January 1 of 2012.
Okay, well, my goodness, that's a lot of information, Gary.
Sure.
And I'm sure the general public is going to have questions about some of the things that we're talking about here today. Can you go ahead and give them a contact number, so if anybody have questions that they could call your office or some of the individuals there in your office to ask questions? Sure,
they can call 706-883-1620. That's our office number. You can also go online to www.onlinemvd.dor.ga.gov, and you can pull it up, and there's also going to be a calculator out there, so you can calculate for those who may want to opt in, because you do not have to opt in if you bought a car after January 1 of 12, but you just have that opportunity to do so. But you can look and see if you rather continue to pay the ad valorem tax or you want to opt into it. But again, any purchases or transfers of title after after March the 1st of 13 will be charged the 6.5% title fee.
Well, now let me ask a question. What about tag renewals, fees, admission tests? Are there going to be any changes to that, Gary?
No, there won't be any changes to that. Again, the change is the elimination of the sales tax and the implementation of the one-time 6.5% title fee. That's the title ad valorem tax fee. And by the way, this one-time fee is not tax deductible.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a one-time tax. But having said, what was your question that you asked?
About omissions or renewals?
Excuse me, that's right. When you come, you'll still come in annually, as you always do on your birthday, and you will still pay your $20 tag fee. Okay. And so, but what I mean, now, again, if you own vehicles that you had purchased, which most of us do prior to January 1 of 2012, and didn't opt in, or even March the 1st, if you chose not to opt in, you will continue to pay that annual birthday tax like you do now. But if you have opt-in, if you've had that opportunity, or after March 1st you purchase, you still come in and pay the $20 tag fee, just like you do now. Of course, we're not a Mission county, so emissions is not an issue. Right, but in addition, I will say that you also pay, when you first come in, just like you do now, the tag fee is $20 and the title fee is $18. You still pay that $38 tag and title, and then pay the 6.5%. But again, those are just one-time charges after March 1st.
Okay, well, very good. And again, I know this is great information. Let's say you mentioned a moment ago, Gary, about if you bought my vehicle. What if it was a vehicle that was transferred among family members? How are they impacted?
There are two scenarios there. Again, if I'm the parent or the family member who owns the car, and I purchased that car after March the 1st of 2013, and then, of course, I paid the 6.5% title tax, then I want to give that car to a family member, I can give that vehicle to my family member, and they will only have to pay a half of 1% of the value of the vehicle in order to transfer it to their name. Now, if it was a vehicle that I own, my 2009 truck, I paid sales tax on that, and I pay that birthday tax every year. So on those vehicles, if I transferred those, I have not opted in. I mean, I have not paid the TAF. So therefore, if I give that to a family member, they'd have an option to pay the one-time 6.5% title fee, or they can continue to pay the birthday tax every year.
Okay, so you basically could you choose either or.
Either or.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what basically triggers it though is the fact that if it has been done, then you can opt in for 0.5%. Okay. Otherwise, then you got an option to pay the full 6.5% or continue to pay the birthday tax.
Okay. All right. And, a lot of times people may not want to purchase a car outright, Gary. They may want to lease a vehicle. How does a lease vehicle? How does that impact a vehicle that's leased? This
bill is one of the most negative of all the groups out there that we're dealing with. It would be leased vehicles, because what happens now, the leaseor, of course, is the owner of the vehicle.
Right.
And now the leaseor is going to have to pay the one-time 6.5% title fee. But of course, that leaseor is probably going to transfer that cost to the leasee. And then the leasee, of course, makes monthly payments.
Right.
Which also includes sales tax. And so if the leaseor passes that title fee on to the leasee, that leasee's going to have to pay that 6.5% plus sales tax for 3 or 4 years. Now, if that leasee at the end of his 4-year lease decides that he wants to purchase that vehicle, then he's got to pay the one-time 6.5% title fee to get in his name. So in essence, there's a possibility a leasee could pay 3 times.
I'll finish that.
So I think that's going to impact the leased vehicles tremendously.
Okay. As we get ready, again, this is great information, Gary. I want to ask another question here, because we have a number of veterans in our area.
Sure.
How does this new law impact the veterans?
The exemptions for the title ad valorem tax will be similar to what it was on the old birthday tax. Okay. If you are a veteran who is 100% disabled through the VA and drawing a disability through the VA, then you are exempt. Veterans who are prisoners or were prisoners of war, they will be exempt. Purple Heart and Medal of Honor.
All those.
They'll be exempt.
Well, Gary, I'm going to tell you great information. I definitely want to get you to come back on the show so we can talk a little bit about, because this goes in effect on March the 1st of 2013, and I'm sure there's going to be maybe some hiccups, some bumps in the roads.
Sure.
I definitely want to bring you back on the show just to kind of talk about things that you and your staff are encountering and how we can kind of clear up any misconception if you're available to do that, okay?
Be glad to, Alton.
All right, well, Gary, thank you very much for coming on and sharing this information this morning, okay?
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment.
We're here today with Amy Warren at an Affair to Remember. And Amy, welcome to Meet the Merchant. So happy to have you here, and would love for you to tell us how long you've been in business.
Okay. We have been in business here we've been open, and Affair to Remember has been open for about 5.5 years. We've moved in this location about 1.5 years ago, so we're right on the square now on the corner, and love being here with all
and
the hustle and bustle.
We love having you here. We love seeing the dresses in the window, and it's just always fun to see how they change, and you're always so good to support whatever's going on in the community when you put all the pink dresses in for Paint the Town Pink. And of course, we love all the prom dresses when it's prom season. And anyway, it's just always a lot of fun to see. So tell us about some of the different merchandise that you have in the store, though, that people might not think about.
We're obviously a bridal shop. We have brides' dresses, bridesmaids, mother of the bride, and then we have prom, and prom is really a big season right now for us, but we have all kinds of pageant wear and anything that you want. We also have really tried to start bringing in some more cocktail dresses, or a little more casual dresses that'll be good for just a night out or a guest of the wedding type thing.
Oh,
too.
yes. And I've also noticed you have beautiful jewelry.
Thank you. Yes, we love
and
that.
Beautiful shoes.
Thank
and
you.
Then the slips and everything that people might need to go under the gowns and things like that.
Everything that you need for a bridal gown or for any occasion, we have all. We can dress you from head to toe. We're ready to go.
That's great. And I also noticed that you carry Spanx, right?
Spanx. We love our
Lots
Spanx.
of women love those Spanx. So it's great to know we've got that in LaGrange.
Yeah,
so.
we do.
And then I also noticed that you have things for gentlemen too that people
Yes.
probably don't think
We
about.
do. We have tuxedos here. We have tuxedo rental, and so we can do that for prom or for any other full wedding party. If you need an individual tux for going out for an evening, we can take care of your tuxedo for you also.
That's great too. And how long is that time? You know, they need to come in and get measured for a tux. and then-
Typically, for prom or for bridal, we like to have everything in around a month ahead of time, but we can get it as close as the week of if you're in an
Okay.
emergency, and we can fix you right up.
That's wonderful. Okay. Hey, Amy, please tell our viewers what your hours of operation are and also your location.
Well, we're located right on the square in LaGrange. We're at 9 East Lafayette Square. Our hours during prom season are going to be open from 10 until 7, and then on Saturdays from 10 until 4. And we're closed on Sundays, but we're just right here on the square and love for everyone to come by and check us out.
Oh, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for allowing us to come in today and show everybody the beautiful merchandise that you have in the store.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming by.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have a guest on from Vernon Wood Retirement Community. I have the fitness instructor, Dottie Funty. Dottie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, you know, it's a pleasure to sit down with a fitness person because I try to think that I'm in pretty good shape, but when I look at you and the fitness that I'm like, okay, I got a ways to go, I guess. But you work, Dottie, I think, with a very special group of people out at Vernon Woods, and I know that you probably just a joy to work with them. But before we get started in talking about what you do there at Vernon Wood, talk a little bit about yourself for me, if you don't mind.
Okay. I began fitness training here in LaGrange in 2009 and worked specifically with the Zumba Gold program over at the Active Life.
Okay.
And enjoyed that population of people so much that I realized I wanted to expand what I was doing. Also, there are so many safety concerns within that group that I needed to work on my training so that I could be better at covering all my bases for safety.
Okay, well, very good. Now, when we're talking about, covering bases for safety, because I know with the age population that you work with, safety is probably your number one priority. I'm just put words in your mouth there. Is that fair to say?
It is fair to say. We just need to be mindful about all the movement that we do, but in particular with the older adult, the strength base is not always where it needs to be, and our body changes, and because we move less, sit more, then we have to adapt to getting up and transitioning from place to place, and people are more afraid of falling when they get older, and so need to work on those things to strengthen the muscles that help support us and with the aches and pains that everyone feels.
That's right.
There are ways to help them to keep moving, and it also helps them to feel like they don't hurt all the time. So.
Now, and you were talking, when we were talking prior to us coming on the show, you were talking about the different types of, I guess, fitness training that an individual can go through. Talk a little bit about functional versus correctional training for.
At Vernon Woods, I have incorporated our program over the year, functional training, movement, and corrective training. So in the correction, an example of that might be in our walking with walkers class, where those residents who use a walker need to work on their posture. So in particular, instead of pushing the walker forward in front of them and taking short, tiny steps to get forward, where there's more likelihood of falling, they would improve their posture. We work on strength for their core, and balance comes through that as well. But they'll be able to take the walker into their body, and we take longer steps into the walker and keep it right near the body so that there's less possibility of falling. So that's a correctional type training that we might do. Functional training is simply keeping the body moving and functioning with your best range of motion. So their full range of motion is going to change if they're not moving. So we do exercises, strength training, core conditioning, rebuilding muscles that may have gone weak, and help them to function better. For instance, might be in my men's balance class, we talk about going to the kitchen, getting the plate of cookies to go watch the ball game or the Coke, and you have your hands full, and most people will just turn on a dime right there in the kitchen with their hands full. But we talk about a functional move to walk out of those turns instead of just spinning. So there's less likelihood to fall again when their balance is walking out of a turn. So that's a functional training, but functional also just means strengthening your core and strengthening your body for functional movement, which may be lifting something or pushing something, those types of things.
Okay, and I heard you mentioning strengthening the core and just strengthening. Now, and I know we're going to talk in a few moments about gender-based types of exercises. Are there or is there any lifting that the individuals do there as opposed, to help strengthen those cores?
Oh yes, we use a lot of more or less physical therapy tools. I've incorporated a variety of tools in our training. We have a bar, it's called a therapy bar, a bendy bar they call them.
Okay.
And we do a tabletop strength class. And our tabletop strength is where we'll have these tools on the table, and one might be a bar, and we do upper body strength. And so it's a bar about 1.5 feet long, and we use them in physical therapy settings, and we might make a frown with it. So if you picture a bar, you make a frown or you make a smile, and it strengthens that upper body. Also may do some pressing and pushing. We use balloons or balls where they're like weighted balls, and lift them up. And we do lots of motion where we get range of motion back in the joints.
Okay. Again, it sounds like a lot of fun. There.
It's a lot of fun. Everybody
Absolutely.
it's educational, and people need to learn. They need to have new information, and fitness is the best path to me to weave the education in, so they're more excited about coming to class, and they also enjoy being together.
Absolutely. Now talk a little bit, because you mentioned a moment ago about balance in the men. You do gender-based type classes there. Talk about what you offer for the females.
The women have a very wonderful group. They are very committed. We can have up to 12, 14 people per class, but usually there's just a nice average size of 7 to 10 people who come.
Okay.
They enjoy being together. They support each other and encourage each other. People's conditions are so different, as we age. And perhaps someone may have had a stroke. Someone may have experienced knee replacements. Or they're just feeling overall weak for that day, or had a bout with the flu and they have to come back. We have to rebound back into our regular moves. So a lot of times in the women's class in particular, we see so much encouragement to each other. It means everything to be connected within a community, and Vernon Woods is an amazing place where friendships are formed, there are connections made, and our women's balance class, there's a particular place for that heartwarming encouragement. So we do all the things we do in the guys' class, but in a little bit different method, because women do things different than men.
That's right. Well, do you have any mixing of exercising classes there?
We do. Every day there's an opportunity to come to something where there's a social mix. We have a physical therapist who currently teaches a mixed class with, it's a chair class, but it's, and they stand and do just strength training, and from leg lifts to squats to shoulder moves, and and so there's a good opportunity.
Now, Zumba has kind of taken the community by storm. I think I know that they have classes out at the Troup County Parks and Recreation. I also understand that you all offer Zumba there at Vernon Woods, correct? We
do. We've offered Zumba. I started in Zumba in 2009 over there as well. So it's been a program that's been continued. We started with 5 programs there and now have increased that to 13. But Zumba Gold is a fantastic program. The music will reach people even if they if they have more dementia-related issues, and the music connects every age. So we have had programs where they're intergenerational programs where you may have children involved in that Zumba program with the older adult, or just the weekly Zumba class is popular because of the fun moves and the energy that the music creates, and that's what Zumba is all about.
Oh, very good, very good. Now you were also you mentioned just a moment ago about dementia, and I think you also offer classes to kind of help. It says "Forget Me Not."
That's correct. We have a class that for me is one of the best things going at Vernon Woods. It's a class that meets in a lobby. It's not in our gyms. It's not in the designated space for our exercise fitness classes, but it's in a lobby, and so whoever's around is invited to participate. So it's not that someone would have to have dementia to be there. Anybody can participate. What happens in this class is we've incorporated movement, usually using a tool. So I may take one of our walking sticks that we use in balance class, for instance, and with that walking stick, we'll create movement and motion. That motion stimulates the brain and helps people to connect with a memory. And so through conversation, we'll talk about that. It's a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys that conversation. It's very active, and in that plan, we bring motion to every joint. I try to bring movement to every joint that I can get moving.
Oh my!
So it's very exciting class.
It sounds like it. And you know, even though your audience there is kind of our seniors, you know, some of us younger folks probably could benefit from that class as well.
When someone has Alzheimer's or dementia, we have found that stimulating the brain creates such a feeling of happiness, and that joy that comes out there is amazing. We can get speech to come out, people start to talk again, we get a new neural connection that's built, and it's very exciting to see incorporating these new moves into our program.
Well, very good. You know, it sounds like there are a number of wonderful things that are going on there. And just as we get ready to close out, I understand that, you know, you kind of challenge I guess the residents there, and those that kind of go over and above, they get prizes. Talk about that as we get ready to close out.
We have a participation program, and we started this last year. We have seen the numbers of participants really climb. Just because of the energy, we have a new energy about our fitness programming, and that people want to be more active. They want to be included in a program that's exciting and educational and that benefits them. Right. There's so many choices now, and what's happened is that we began to increase participation through a program where we have levels, a bronze level, and they'll get a water bottle if they come and have an assessment, a personal assessment with me. It's very unique because it's personalized. And then the next level is the silver level, and that's if they participate in the 90 minutes. And then gold, and then a platinum level if they've added 2 classes.
Oh man.
So.
Well, very good. Well, Dottie, sounds like there are a lot of wonderful things going on out there at Vernon Woods with the health and fitness program, and I understand, and I want to get you back on because I understand that you're going to be going down to Tampa pretty soon to be talking to other assisted facilities about fitness and things of that nature. Is that correct?
That's correct. We'll be going next week. Vernon Woods will participate and be involved in sharing the program that we have at Vernon Woods with a good many residential communities like Vernon Woods, and we're really spearheading good fitness and correct fitness for our seniors, and we're very excited about that.
Well, very good. You know, Vernon was very fortunate to have you there to help out with the senior adults and things of that nature. So, Bunny, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing this information with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Dottie. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been from Troup County. I had on the Troup County Tax Commissioner, Gary Woods, that talked about the birthday tax and the effects and changes that will be taking place starting March 2013. So if you have questions, make sure you call or either stop by their office to get more information. Also, I had on from Vernon Woods Retirement Community their Fit For You instructor, Dottie Funty, as she talked about the wonderful programs that they're providing our seniors at the Vernon Wood Retirement Community. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed those interviews this week, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.